Hello everyone, this is Dartt, and there's stuff I just need to say about the Rejection of the Gift cinematic involving Turalyon, the Naaru Zera, and most importantly, Illidan Stormrage. Things start out on a hopeful note, where the parts of Zera's wind chime-like body are laid out on the floor of the Vindicar. The central portion, Light's Heart, that crashed near the broken shore and started off the series of quests that led players to rescue Illidan from oblivion, was added. And all of a sudden Zera, for want of a better explanation, reassembles herself and flares to life. This moment of elation and relief is very short-lived. Turalyon addresses her with complete adoration and awe, which you would expect from a paladin talking to a being of pure light. But then the newly awakened Naaru Prime calls for Illidan, naming him the Chosen One. And we can tell from her tone and Illidan's responses that things aren't going to end well. Let's watch the exchange.
Illidan, from birth, the light in your eyes held such promise for the future.
I sacrificed that birthright long ago.
Do you not wish to reclaim what was lost? To be whole again?
The Legion's end is all I seek.
My child, you've given so much for so little. Your true potential, your redemption, lies before you. Let go of your shattered form and embrace the light's power.
I've traded my freedom for power before.
Illidan doesn't trust this. I don't think anyone would or should.
Must be fulfilled.
Okay, Zera. You just crossed the line.
Has passed. The light will forge you a new one.
It is not yours to take.
The light will heal your scars.
I am my star.
That's just badass.
Is your destiny.
My destiny is my own.
I'll be absolutely honest here. This was a very well-crafted what the fuck. Blizzard outdid themselves on this one. On the one hand, you have Illidan, the anti-hero, demonstrating more backbone and more heroism in the face of having his identity and sense of self torn away than most cardboard cutout heroes that you see in this game. While Zera, supposedly some benevolent demigod of light, representative of all that's pure and good, behaves more like a monster than most raid bosses we've put down. It's hard to suppress some mixed feelings here. On the one hand, I was angry at Illidan for shattering Zera, but on the other, I was horrified at what Zera was doing. And I've heard it argued both ways. Illidan what the fuck, and Zera what the fuck. But I'm going with Illidan on this one. You can try and make the argument that Zera was doing what was right, and Illidan should have shut up and gone along with it. I absolutely disagree. Zera was within her rights to offer the gift, but it's up to Illidan to accept it, not Zera to force it upon him. Zera wanted to strip away the things that made Illidan who he was. Illidan refused to allow it. Turalyon rushes up, yells an accusation of dooming everyone, and attempts to kill Illidan, who catches his sword blade, earning another scar as we can see green blood running down Illidan's hand, and states that Turalyon's faith has blinded him, and there can be no chosen one, that only we can save ourselves. And that's as far as the cinematic goes. But there's more to consider here. First of all, did Zera know what would happen when she pushed Illidan too far? Given Zera's role in helping to pull Illidan back from oblivion in the Light's Heart's quest chain, you would think she would know better than anyone else how he would react. Did Zera want to push mortals to become stronger and able to defeat the Legion and force them to become strong enough to deal with Sargeras, the Old Gods, and the Void Lords down the road? If nothing else is true, Naru certainly possessed the degree of self-sacrifices needed to carry that off. Then again, from the conversation between Ilaria and Turalyon during Zera's rescue, where Ilaria reveals that Zera had her imprisoned for studying the Void, it sounds like Zera is a fanatic. So while the light is a positive force aligned with life itself, it doesn't equate to being morally correct or enlightened in any given situation. Like any other type of power, it can be weaponized to do harm. And finally, if Zera was too blinded by her perspective to realize that her attitude towards Illidan was nothing more than ends justifying the means style thinking run amok, is this the first time she stooped to this? Was Lothraxion a willing convert to the cause of light, or did Zera forcibly turn him? Turalyon says that he's an old friend, but how old and how did that friendship come about? Speaking of Turalyon, what's the story with his eyes? Humans don't have, naturally, that is, glowing yellow eyes. Is this some sort of light corruption? Being a paladin, is he just drunk with it? Has he been hitting the lemon-flavored Kool-Aid a little too hard? It's interesting that this yellow tint fades after Zera is shattered. Is this responsible for his reaction to Illidan defending himself? Was he an addict, and was that reaction a sign of withdrawal? Or was that just the light reflected in his eyes, and even if that's so, was that a cleverly concealed metaphor pointing at something similar? I love this cinematic. I think the moral ambiguity of this confrontation made for an incredible story. A very honest and well-earned bravo to Blizzard. In my honest opinion, they couldn't have done this one better. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe.